Hello students, I am Dr. Tanmay Vishwashan. Welcome you all in my channel Chemistry, the Mystery of Molecules. So I hope you all are fine. So today we are going to discuss an interesting molecule named as allicin. Its structure you are observing here. So this molecule is pretty interesting. Welcome. So in today's discussion, what we are going to discuss? We are going to discuss about the basic idea of this molecule, chemical, biochemical synthesis, its property, application and smell. Okay, so lots of interesting chemistry to be learned in this video. Please watch the video until the end with a cool mind. So, why this compound is interesting? Because from the headline you can see allicin, the sulfur compound present in garlic. It is present in garlic. That's the interesting thing. Actually, generally it is advised for us that if you have any cold, take garlic. If you have any infection, take garlic. If you want to do another treatment, take garlic. Not only this advice, in our ancient literature, not India, China, in those Egyptian, those old literature, they also prefer to use garlic as a medicine. Right now we use garlic as a spices, but previously our ancestors used to use garlic as a medicine. So what this means their research for lots of years concluded that this garlic is a magical spices could be utilized a lot, and this thing present in the garlic. So when we cut a garlic, we get some smell. For what? Because of this compound. So that is the beauty. Lots of things. Not only this, such kind of compounds are very helpful as an antioxidant, as an anti-cancer reagent, and lots of other applications also. But today's focus is not biological. Today's our focus is chemical. So we will discuss about the chemistry of this material as much as we can. So now, first of all, the basic thing you have understood, and by the way, I want to mention, previously I have uploaded another lecture about thiol, means cysteine. It's a thiol based antioxidant. So similar, sulfur compound acting as an antioxidant. So please visit that video. Okay, so let's start. Fine. So the basic idea we have just discussed. Okay. So another sulfur containing compound I have already discussed, that is glutathione. You may also visit in order to enrich your knowledge about sulfur content as antioxidant. So from this thing, what you can understand, nature of this molecule, you may consider this is actually a thioester. Thioester of sulfur containing acid. What do I mean by this? So you may consider that this is the acid and this is the thiol. So in this way you can make. Sorry, there should be a sulfur. You may confuse that, sir. Generally carboxylic acid you have observed, sulfur you have observed this thing. For example, instead of one double bond O, if I put the two double bond O, you are very familiar, sulfuric acid. Okay, so from this point we can consider this molecule as a thioester. And why I am considering it as an antioxidant? Because see, antioxidant is such a molecule which itself getting oxidized, or it sacrifices itself against the oxidation stress or oxidizing agent. It's in presence of any oxidizing agent, it sacrifices itself and saves our cell from permanent damage or DNA damage you can consider. And such kind of oxidative stress are one of the reason for a quick aging in humans. Fine. So now, so how it can, you may consider that there are many things that this sulfur can oxidize into sulfoxide. It can. Another thing, whatever, just sometime we told that it resulted in this thiol. So this thiol. So this thiol could be oxidized. So in this way it can act as many. I am not saying it's a proposal that in this way it can act as an oxidizing agent and save our body. Fine. Now let's discuss about its chemical and biochemical synthesis. So this is, let's discuss about the chemical, later will come biochemical. So from this, if you go backstage, how? You will get a symmetrical molecule. By the way, student, always try to start from a symmetrical molecule because it is easier to synthesize. Okay, so since it's a symmetrical molecule, so how can we synthesize? We can synthesize either breaking this bond, SS bond, one point or position. Another is breakage of this bond because these two parts are also symmetrical. Actually, the method is reaction of allyl chloride plus sodium sulfide through SN2 reaction, and the condition is 40 to 80 degrees centigrade, around 40 degrees centigrade in inert atmosphere. So what it result? This result in this diallyl disulfide. So this name is diallyl disulfide. Okay, so this in this way. And second thing, this is oxidized. This could be oxidized using any reagent you may consider like that. Sodium. So you may consider that dilute hydrogen peroxide. Dilute hydrogen peroxide can oxidize into this sulfoxide. Okay, so this is not that much well established, but actually this is produced in human body. Fine, it could be prepared. And second, this is now the question is this compound is very stable? This ester is actually no. First of all, under very strongly acidic or strongly basic condition it degrades, under little higher temperature it degrades, and that's why it is always think that if you want to get the benefit of this compound from garlic, just chop it off, paste, make anything, instantly you do, and if you cook, the benefit you lose. That's why if you want to use garlic as a taste maker, then you make it as a spices or masala, cook and enjoy the molecule. And if you want to get the medicinal benefit, you have to consume it raw, means you have to chew it and consume it, and as soon as possible. Means, for example, a garlic, this is a, okay, I'll come. So in this way, this diallyl disulfide, this is oxidized. So what is the problem in this reaction? Problem is this is final product, fine. Along with that, some other product, for example, this diallyl trisulfide are produced, and actually sulfur has a tendency to form polysulfide. So in this way series goes on. Fine. So that's why generally this dialkyl disulfide you can avail it around impure condition, that is in around 80% purity. So this is the overall reaction. So from this thing you can understand, if I think about this mechanism, how can I explain? So this is S minus. So it is attacking through SN2 fashion, and this chlorine leaves. Again, as an intermediate we can prescribe that, okay, this S minus, then it attacks with another alkyl chloride through SN2 fashion and ultimately result in this. Fine. And by the way, why SN2 is very easier? See, sulfur is a good nucleophile. So this is a good nucleophile. Why? Because it is a softer in nature. So it can act as a better nucleophile rather than better base. Whereas its homologous series, that is hydroxide, is a weaker, stronger base but weaker nucleophile. So in this way, and why these three? Because during the reaction, some sulfur can in the reaction medium produce, and it can form, for example, another sulfur. You may consider this. This sulfur attacks this and ultimately results in this is S2 minus. So in this way another. So by that way this material is produced. Fine. So this is the chemical route from diallyl disulfide. Now we have understood about this and why this is actually such kind of this chemical strategy is utilized, because if you can make very small amount of sulfur compound and if you mix with some food, you will get the flavor of this garlic flavor, you can consider. So you can make any garlic flavor thing in very less cost. That's why they are very important. Fine. So we have understood the chemical synthesis. Now come biochemical synthesis. That is very interesting. Biochemical synthesis is from allene. to one enzyme, allinase. Okay, and in this way it converted into this. This is allicin. So what happens in reality? For example, you have a garlic. This is a garlic, and there is a cover. So what happens? You remove the cover, or somehow you make this thing damaged. Okay, so first of all you remove the cover to make this garlic. After that you damage the tissue, means you cut in it, you chopped into pieces. Then what happens? That when you damage the tissue of garlic, then this enzyme allinase convert allin into allicin. This must be understood. Now question, what is about allin? Because when we discuss about allicin, it is important to know about allin. And this allin is pretty interesting. So you can look at this molecule. Okay, just look at this molecule. This allin actually looks like this sulfur, double bond O, this, and this is NH2, this is COOH. I am not going to the stereochemistry. So one stereocenter here and another here. I know, I'll come. So this is the molecule which is. So from this half side you can directly conclude that, wow, this is this part, means this. So this part. So half is prepared. This is actually allin. And if I ask you that how this allin could be prepared, it has a method to prepare. This is prepared by reaction of this allyl bromide, just similar reaction sometime before you have learned, and this is cysteine. So I am not writing zwitterionic form. So in this case, in presence of sodium hydroxide, water, 20 degrees centigrade, 14 hours, it resulted. The first product means it, after this first condition, what it produces? This produces this S, this. Okay, and second, this is actually a SN2 reaction. You may consider this is actually a SN2 process, and this is further oxidized into this by dilute hydrogen peroxide, then sulfoxide. So this is the thing, and this process, if you look at, this is actually nothing but a simple SN2 reaction, and sulfur is a good nucleophile, the center is allylic, so very interested for this SN2 type of reaction. So it leaves and ultimately it resulted in this. And by the way, one interesting property, please remember, this is the first reported sulfur centered asymmetric compound. What do I mean by the statement? See, this is actually cysteine. So in biological system means this is L isomer. Fine. Now what happens? This center is also asymmetric. Why? See, this sulfur has previously two lone pair. So one get formed two double bond with oxygen. There is another lone pair. So you may consider this lone pair has a directional property and it doesn't flip easily. Okay. So consequently, so this center is asymmetric, this center is asymmetric. So one important question could be asked to you, giving this structure, this allene, how many stereocenter do this molecule have? These molecule have two stereocenter. Please remember these information, it may come. One is fine, amino acid, we can easily predict, but this sulfur center is also thing. So this part, I guess we have understood how allinase converts this allene into allicin. Okay. Now from this study we have understood how this could be prepared. Now its property. Since, as I told sometime before, since this molecule is actually contains a sulfur thing, So it is actually a reducing in nature. Point number 1. Second, this reducing nature in biological system makes it a very potential candidate for antioxidant. So this is, and second, another thing, as I told, hydrolysis can produce sulfur compound that can get self-oxidized. Even this compound get oxidized to prepare the final compound. And let's last part about smell. Smell. Because whenever we work with sulfur compound, we get some smell. For example, a very common reagent used in laboratory is dimethyl sulfoxide. And by the way, I have written in this way. So you can also write its canonical form, that is this O minus S plus. This is also means DMSO sometimes also written in this way also, and this canonical form is the support that why DMSO is so polar, not acetone. Fine. And its boiling point is so high. Okay, because if you check acetone, CH3, COCH3. Now where is the difference? Difference is only one carbon versus sulfur. Carbon's atomic weight is 12 and sulfur is 32. This much, and boiling point difference too much because of the polarity. Fine. So we have understood smell. When we get smell of a compound, first of all, the compound must be volatile. Compound must be volatile and can be sensed with a very less concentration. I'll come. I am saying less concentration. If it is more concentration, then also you can smell. But generally, what we consider this compound is smelly, which are generally detectable by our nose, means biological nerves, very less concentration. So it is volatile. Why sulfur compounds are volatile? These sulfur compounds are volatile because if you see thiol, SH versus OH, this hydrogen bonding is very strong in alcohol mediated. That's why they don't evaporate properly. But sulfur not able to form that much hydrogen bond. So ultimately that they evaporate, and sometimes they decompose also. For example, this can, as I told, allicin is not that much stable compound. So if it decomposes, this part means, what do I mean? This part. This is expected to be volatile. This is DMSO part, you can consider that fine, boiling is high. But this is, so it can smell. So that's why sulfur compound smells a lot. And another thing, if you eat garlic, you do the taste by yourself. Consume garlic in one day. And ask your family member, are you enjoying or are you getting any smell? So they will answer you that it is smells much because of this allicin. Allicin and other sulfur compounds also. So this is the overall discussion today. So what we have learned today? We have learned that allicin is a compound available in garlic responsible for the smell. It is widely used. It has a antibiotic, antimicrobial, antifungal properties. Fine. It could be synthesized both chemically and biologically. And in case of biological method, we have learned something about its parent compound, that is allene. Even how that allene compound could be synthesized. And this allene has two stereoisomer. One is centered on sulfur. Fine. And at the end, we have learned about the smelling nature of this compound and application of this compound as an antioxidant or providing reducing environment. So this is the end of this discussion. Thanks for watching. If you really like my teaching, please help my channel to grow. First of all, subscribe my channel Chemistry, the Mystery of Molecule. Please press the bell icon to get the notification of every single video I upload. Secondly, share it among your friends so that they can also enjoy the benefit. And most importantly, please write your opinion in the comment box. And the foremost or prime reason I am asking, please don't mind, if possible, please support me through Patreon, because without your support, it is very difficult for me to upload such kind of lectures for you on a regular basis. So thank you again. Stay happy, stay blessed. See you in my next video.